peace episode. This is
Mm-hmm.
pretty much experts. I'm Robert John Patterson, illustrator, artist, traveling in the Czech Republic. Still, this is my brother Mike
Yep.
and my other brother Skylar.
Hello.
Okay, so Skylar missed that part, but earlier, 2 seconds ago, me and Mike said, "Oh, when I do the introductions, you guys should say something, and that way there's like an audio, like
For the audio listeners, yeah.
for the audio only people
That's a
are
good idea.
upwards
Maybe
of
you should have said something to me.
Well, you know what? We don't do a lot of pre-game. That's what keeps us loose and fast.
Loose, fast, and under
Yeah,
control.
we're still figuring it out too.
I think that was NASA's original slogan, actually. Loose, fast, and under control.
I thought it was hard and fast.
Hard, fast, and under control?
No, definitely not
loose.
under control.
They were loose at the start, and then they got hard.
Is that a fact?
Well, it's biology.
They got their shit together when they adopted those Nazi war criminals to come work for them.
Did they
Yeah,
not?
no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Warner,
is that
what's
what
his
we're
name?
starting?
Warner von Braun, I think that was a dude's
Yeah,
name.
Von Braun, and
Von
just
Braun.
never
Fucking Von Braun.
brought it up again.
No. There's like a statue of him too at like Kennedy Space Center.
And like Disney.
Really?
Yeah, like creator of the U2 rocket. Is that what it was called?
V2.
V2? Oh man, this pretty much experts episode is all fucking pretty much.
So pretty much. It's all
Just
okay.
pretty much ...
Half-hearted.
Yeah. The man that like had the like Jewish factories of like building rockets, bombing London, bombing France,
Yeah.
invented night bombing, like all those horrible things. Then the US just like, he's not that bad. Pick him up, take him over. You can like head up NASA and create the we'll rename your V2 rocket a Saturn rocket.
Yeah.
And we'll go to space, and
Way
we won't
more
have
American.
factory workers, the slowest one being hung in front of the rest of the workers every day. Like, we won't do that anymore. But everything else you did, like, let's keep that in the do.
Well,
the do
we
column.
don't really know what NASA was doing.
They might have
right?
been hanging
in the
slowest
early
workers.
60s.
Yeah. When the slogan was still fast, hard, and blue.
60s, wow. That's late. Yeah. I mean, I read that von Braun was detained by the Nazis, and
Is that a
worked for
fucking
them. But I mean,
NASA spin website?
that could be a spin, could be a hot spin. Because I thought it was like, a lot of like he was just a German Nazi, like a German scientist, and then the war started, and it was like, hey, do you want to join the war effort? And it was like, okay. So
Or you die.
He wanted to go to space, though. That was always his thing initially.
Right.
But then, like, they obviously are like, no, we're going to use your rockets for ballistics. And he was like, no, you don't shoot the stars, you go to them. In German.
You don't shoot them, you shoot for them.
Yeah, you shoot for them, unless, But then, so, like, when they bombed South England with his V2 rocket, the Germans, he was, like, quoted on saying that, like, the rocket performed flawlessly. It just hit the wrong target.
Oh.
Yeah. So but he also definitely ran that factory. It was in a mountain too.
Oh yeah.
It was like an underground bunker mountain that they just used like slave labor to create them all.
Sounds like a comic book or a cartoon, like the rock would move and the rocket would launch.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
For sure.
Yeah, out of the cave.
Lasers. There's lasers.
Oh, for sure there's lasers.
Pointed at someone's crotch and they gotta get out, But yeah, and then when the war was over, like they just like basically everybody went in and like took their cut of the pie, right? Like a lot of the scientists went and worked for the Russians, and then von Braun went and worked with the Americans, and
And just like got excused of all the war crimes that they contributed to?
Yeah, I guess
they played dumb. Like, wasn't that Operation Paperclip? That was what it's called. They kind of just like covered it all up while the Nuremberg trials were going on, and then once that was all kind of done, and the war criminals were like marked and executed or whatever they did to them, then it was kind of revealed, in the 1960s and 70s that like the U.S. had this big exodus plan to get the like smart Nazis out and give them roles within the U.S. government
instead of just shooting them.
Yeah. They're like the best ones. We're keeping them.
Keeping them for ourselves.
They're not as
Hitch our
horrible
pony
as
to that
ones.
cart.
Yeah. But that anyway brings us to what we wanted to talk about today, was just the space race, and that's completely shrouded in controversy from day one. Basically, we just talked about it. It starts on the backs of Nazi ideas and
Captain America
cover-ups.
Right
away,
definitely
when you
reaches
start
a climax
on a cover-up on both sides, like Russian and the U.S. Both starts with Nazi war criminals. Starting any venture on the back of a nice cover-up is not a good start.
You guys are both on board that you think it's like none of it's legit, or
none of it's legit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's shrouded in a lot of controversy. I don't know. There's interesting takes, and like listen to people try to, like debunk the hoax or all the hoax theories, right? Like that's interesting. Like the people who are like a matter of fact about everything that might have been affiliated with it, like speaking up, trying to debunk the hoax and all the hoax theories. Like that's interesting, and I mean, and the hoax shit itself is a trip.
Yeah.
See, but isn't the hoax thing just an easy way out? Like, it seems so much easier to be like, it was a hoax, instead of being like, no, these people actually went and did it, this happened. And then someone just writing a book like, I think it was a hoax. And like, what do you mean it was a hoax? Like, motherfucker.
Well, believing in the hoax is like as American as fucking apple pie. It's as American as believing that they went to the moon.
Yeah. I think that's like the first like step of like a legitimate like venture, is like if someone starts saying it's a hoax, then it's like, okay, we did something interesting.
Yeah.
Like there's enough people paying attention that there's like this little pie graph of people that are like, nah, fuck that, it didn't happen. They're all liars.
Yeah, there's a pocket of skeptics.
The space race is just, if it wasn't like in the height of the Cold War, and there's just that dick measuring contest between the U.S. and Russia, like I would be more on board with like, okay, these things happened in history, but so much of it is one government saying we did this, and then the next government saying, oh yeah, but we did this.
Yeah, trying to top them,
and just back and forth climbing a ladder until the U.S. goes to the moon like 6 times, and then it just, both sides are like, okay.
But before they actually like sent like a manned spacecraft allegedly to the moon, like Russia was killing it, man. Like they were breaking ground.
It literally.
Yeah, they were literally killing it, which we found out later.
Yeah, so like I've been deep diving into this like Russian early cosmonaut stuff, the 1950s.
Sorry, before you get into that, RJ,
of course,
when we first started talking about doing an episode on the moon landing, my first thought was when two people touch their nude butts together. I was like, we're going to do an episode on that? Yeah, so I checked Pornhub. There's nothing on there. I don't know if I made that up or if I heard it somewhere. No, there's no moon landing videos on Pornhub.
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
You guys ever heard of cake farting?
No.
No.
exactly
But I'm
what
intrigued.
You think it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like I watched
farting
a video the
in
other day,
or on a cake.
It was just a girl, and it starts off with this nice, beautiful cake on like the counter and like different shots of the cake.
Oh yeah,
and
very
this
sexual.
Girl walks up and she's just like, "I love cake farting," and like dropped her drawers, sat on the cake, farted on it, stuck her butt in it, farted again, and then just farted for the rest of the like 3-minute video.
And you watched all 4 minutes, eh?
Well, I looked at my like this, you parted fingers.
It's for science, right? It's for science.
Yeah, it was like, I need to know.
Did she like blow out birthday candles also?
No, it was a clean,
Oh,
no fire.
taking
Like
it up a
they're
notch.
not sick, sitting on.
They're not
fucking
Russian.
candles. No, it wasn't birthday cake farts. It was just cake farts. But yeah, it's kind of like the moon landing.
Yeah, there's
Fucking
there's
bullshit.
Fucking
definitely some
bullshit.
interest in that. Well, I'm intrigued. Anyways, back to the cosmonauts.
Back to the
Yeah, so
cosmonauts.
basically from like 1950 to 1963, Russia was leading the space race. They're going full bore, sending up cosmonauts. They want to get to the moon first.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this really interesting thing where they only reported when they had a success.
Yeah, and swept everything else under the rug.
Everything else went under that Russian rug.
All the deaths and destruction.
All the deaths. So that if you like do a cool YouTube deep dive on the Russian cosmonaut space program, you can find all these old photos of like, here's like 9 guys that are like our cosmonauts, and then a newspaper like 6 months later, like, here are our 9 cosmonauts, and there'll be like 3 new guys they don't acknowledge at all.
That's awesome.
So like half of the hoaxers or pro hoax people, me included, lean on the side of like, these are people that were either like blown up in a launch or like shot into space and never came back, and Russia's just pretending this didn't happen. Yeah. And then there's people that are like acknowledging like, okay, this class of fucking 80 or class of 58 has changed 3 times this year. Mm-hmm. But they're like, because Russia is so secretive that if anyone like fails a physical, anyone just it goes AWOL, they're gonna pretend like, oh, that guy was never in the class anyway. It's always been this guy. It's always been Sergey. Sergey's been here since day one.
It's this Sergey, not that Sergey.
Like, are they like testing people and like picking the best of the best, or you're thinking they're just like weeding out the idiots and being like,
I think they're running through them.
Yeah,
they're just running through them.
It could go either way.
Because I was reading about, hold on, before you get into, I was reading about them, like even in the early 40s, like America sent monkeys into space, like little, not like chimpanzees, but, and even the Russians did it too, where they just like would put animals on rockets basically and shoot them into space. And
they sent that dog up.
They came back. Famous... Laika, my girl Laika.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Laika, they picked her because she lived on the streets of Moscow and would know what it was like to be cold and hungry. So
really, that was the reasoning.
Perfect conditions for Sputnik 2, I believe they put her on, and she died out there.
That's how they pick most of their cosmonauts.
Yeah, and they're cosmonauts.
I mean,
they like to be cold.
She made 4 orbits.
Their satellites are made of tinfoil,
and then they think she died of heat exposure. She got too hot.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's
too hot.
Indoor rain.
I thought she came back down.
Yeah. No. She disintegrated on re-entry with the probe.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy moly! Yeah, because they're making their satellites and spacecrafts out of tin cans.
But even like Sputnik, the first satellite, that went up. Say, for example, like they shot it up on Tuesday. They said nothing about it until maybe like Thursday or Friday, when other like people are like, yo, Russia just launched this thing into space. And then the Russian government replies like, yeah, it's an unmanned satellite. That is all. So there's like this like possibility that it wasn't an unmanned satellite, and there's a dude like in the tin can that they launched up, and then
or like a fucking alligator.
It could be anything. It could be
who knows? Yeah,
it could be like a whole family of little dogs.
We need to
be anything. It could be anything. They launched it up and they didn't get the answer they wanted, and then they're like, it's an unmanned satellite. It's for weather.
Yeah, of course it is. Well, I read before they reported like the first successful orbit of Earth by a human being, there was like a handful or something that they tried. Like that information was declassified at some point, and one of the guys actually made it back, but he was so like severely fucked up, and they just didn't tell anybody. Like just cut him from the records. Kind of what you were saying before. Like, oh, he actually didn't exist. It was this Sergey and not that Sergey.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I read about
someone
that guy.
actually made it back, but was somehow
was he the
fucked
fellow
up.
that landed in China?
Maybe,
They sent one because Yuri Gagarin, I think that's how you say his name, was the first guy to do a lap and come back down
successfully.
safely.
Yeah.
And he got celebrated a bunch. But like 2 weeks before
Afterlife.
that,
Yeah.
allegedly
Yeah.
2 weeks before that, they sent a dude up. He did a lap and then overshot his landing and landed in China, and like crash landed, was all fucked up. And the Chinese government put him in prison / hospital to like fix all his broken legs and stuff.
Jeez.
And he stayed there for like a year. So even though like Russia had done a lap, they still didn't want to say like, oh, we did a lap but we fucked up. Like their ego is so untaintable that they would rather we'll just do it again. We'll send up someone else a week later and like land the landing. And then people are asking like, hey, where's Sergey? And they're like, oh, he's on vacation in China. He's been gone for an awful long time.
Yeah, like
He
what
was
did
in
they
a
tell
car
his family?
accident. He's in hospital.
Like, what the fuck did he tell his family?
He's in hospital.
Yeah.
He's
in hospital. Just don't go visit
He's in
him.
hospital. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
you
the family
can't.
asks too many
You probably
questions,
couldn't
they'll
at that
fucking
point.
send them up to space too.
Yeah.
Wow. Tricky.
But
Tricky Russians.
the thing that really got me on this topic that I wanted to bring this up was there's these two like Italian brothers that were like big on radio hacking, I guess you could call it, back in the 1960s, where they would have these really powerful home audio equipment and they could like tap into radio signals all around the world. And they released a bunch of audio recordings that they claim are from Russia. And this female, like this woman, and she's basically going on about like, okay, I'm up here. When do I get to come down? It's getting really hot up here. I think I see fire. I'm panicking. When do I get to come down? And it's just this like really terrifying one-sided conversation between a woman describing, okay, I'm up here, now what? When do I get to come back? And like nobody is answering. And she's talking about like, okay, it's getting really hot. Like this is, this sucks. Yeah. And then she starts describing like, okay, I can start to see fire. What do I do? And there's like no answer.
She was waiting for her like re-entry coordinates. Like it was kind of one of those like, we'll get back to you. When we get back to you, we'll let you know how you're coming home. Just sit tight. And so she got all sat tight thinking of borscht and vodka and like can't wait to get there. Pickles. And then obviously it's like, you're coming down. I can feel it. I can feel myself coming down. It's getting hot.
Yeah.
I think the Russians definitely did some shady shit. Like I heard that video, and it's just like, I don't know. You hear it, and it's like you don't even question if it's real or fake, right? Yeah. It's like, yeah, okay, Russia, yeah, you probably did that. Soviet Union, sorry, totally different.
Yeah, former Soviet Union.
Former Soviet Union. But I've seen one, where like there was one too where they like a dude was in one of his orbits, and I think he got too far out, and they couldn't bring him back. And it was the same deal where like they watched this guy basically go into space forever, kind of thing, right? Like until they lost the frequency, and it's just like, fuck. Could you imagine that? Just getting thrown out into space. I don't think he'd last very long.
Not in that Russian tin can.
No,
not
at all.
But I mean, over the years, they've sent a number of things like things without a pulse up into Earth's orbit. How is all that stuff able to maintain? Like, I mean, like didn't they shoot a Tesla, and like isn't there like a record player up there, or is that like a Simpsons thing that I'm thinking about?
No, they sent.
You can do it.
Right?
It's about like set like there's satellites in the space center or the space stations up there, right? Like you can put stuff up there. They usually need fuel to keep them in orbit because they are getting sucked in.
Yeah.
But like, remember a couple of years ago when the other space station?
What are you, a flat Earth guy?
No,
remember a flat Earth guy.
Remember when the space station
gravity,
fell back to Earth? Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
Landed in the
part of it
Ocean?
or something.
The great thing about gravity, RJ, is like if you don't believe in it, it's fine. It believes in you.
Yeah. You don't have to.
It'll
still fuck you up.
Keep you here regardless.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going fucking derailing hard on the space race, and we're gonna get into gravity.
That's fine.
Well,
all
we
pertaining.
already
feel
talked
like
about cake farts, so
the idea of centrifugal force holding everything on the Earth does not make any sense to me whatsoever. In what
I'm not
world
a
is
scientist.
spinning something thousands of miles an hour not make everything fly off of it?
yeah, density, something has to do with the density of the Earth. I
Bullshit.
don't know. I
I
honestly
think
couldn't
that
even.
there's got to be a rational reason,
that.
but this gravity thing is bullshit.
Because like you guys poo-pooed it. I don't know the whole story either, but is it not just like space-time continuum being bent? Like I don't
know.
think same as ghosts. Like I think what we think is gravity is something completely different that we only have a certain handle on. Like we know if we drop shit, like hey, like it's
Yeah.
it's fucking gravity, bro.
Yeah,
We
but
probably
then
should have
there's
looked more
things
into
that,
this.
like, I'm just thinking like it spins so fast
And it's
and
really
so
big
hard,
too, right?
and it's big
Yeah,
and it
it's
holds
big,
everything
dense.
down, and it's like a single drop of water, which
Mhm.
weighs nothing. Like if you like used like a water dropper and like let one single drop of water, it's gonna fall down because of gravity. But
Yeah.
then at the
But it
same
does.
time, like if I blow a feather, it's gonna float and come down.
That's because
Like,
that's the atmosphere, though. That's the difference, right? Like
I
there's
think
oxygen.
there's
in-
more at work than just the like, I don't know, the density and it just seems like, okay, the whole universe is spinning around the sun
Yeah.
because that's really heavy.
Not the whole universe, just the galaxy, bro.
Well,
The
the whole
galaxy, yeah.
galaxy
Or
is
the solar
spinning.
system, even, right? And we're spinning around something else, and they're spinning around
Mhm.
something else. And there's
That's what they
giant
say.
black holes that are just sucking shit through and pooping them out white holes on the other side.
Yeah, they are.
White holes, black holes, it doesn't add up. Like, why don't clouds fall to the earth if gravity is
They
real?
do. It's called rain.
No.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. They're up there in big fluffy bushes, and that's got to be like, if you think of like how big a cloud is, that's got to be bigger than a lake of water. Like they're gigantic.
Yeah.
They got to
don't
be
know.
heavy. They got to have density to them. They don't fall.
Is there an average cloud size? I don't know.
And
I
it
don't
rains
know.
and the
Different
cloud doesn't
clouds.
go away. It's not like when you like burn something and then the like fire turns it into smoke and then the thing you had was gone. It's like it rains and it stops raining and there's still clouds.
Mm-hmm.
It just
So
depends
Yeah,
on how
I don't
dense
know.
they are.
Is it an
It's not a
optical
1-to-1
illusion? Is that what you're
ratio.
saying?
Have you ever put a tarp
I
up
don't know.
and it fills with water and then it gets to that tipping point where it tips but then goes
Sure.
back because it's still there? It's just that tipping point. It spills over but doesn't spill at all.
Okay.
Retains a bit. That's fucking rain, baby. Without the tarp. Rain and clouds.
There's
Yeah.
just a spillover line.
It's just a spillover line, yeah. And sometimes they swirl and push wind and make them tornadoes and yeah.
I
Yeah, I
saw
don't
a
know.
fire tornado in Portugal once. It was terrifying.
Jesus.
what?
Yeah, they're having them here.
Fire tornado.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're having
Yeah.
them here with the wildfires, and
Yeah?
I guess the wildfires making their own climate or affecting the climate somehow,
Yeah, there's
And
so much
creating-
wind created
Yeah.
by the like backdrafts and stuff.
and heat and stuff. Yeah,
Heat, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Heat moving all that air
yeah, that's
around,
wild.
sucking it up.
Okay, so now that we did a gravity diversion,
To
back
fire.
to defying gravity with German rockets and the Russians basically writing their own history as they go. Everything's a success. Anything that doesn't work out, like there's a couple like cases of like famous like explosions on the launch sites,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just quick to be like, "Oh, we were just testing a rocket, unmanned." Like that's
Unmanned,
their
of course.
go-to.
Of
Unmanned,
course.
of course.
So
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on a second. Hold on a second. You guys totally believe that everything that you're talking about with the Russians is like good as gold, but then when it comes to like
No,
NASA, it's
no, no,
like
no.
hoax.
We're saying the
bullshit.
opposite. We're saying
No, I
we're
think
saying the
that's-
opposite.
This
that
is the
they-
like
Yeah.
this is the
They
Russian hoax?
conspired. No, they conspired and hid a lot of information. Like, I mean, it was probably long before our time, but there was a point in history where nobody knew all that shit, and then
Yeah.
that information got declassified, and now it's like, oh yeah, they killed a bunch of people and covered up a bunch of shit. So I mean, I just believe that information is accurate, that they were lying to the public for
Yeah.
public image and
Oh, I'm
stuff.
sure they
Yeah.
all lied about shit.
Oh, America definitely was too. Yeah.
The whole
All like
thing.
yeah. Russia just didn't seem to care. I think America cared a little bit more, but
Yeah.
right, like
I think
Russia was
America
just
did
like, nah,
more
Soviets.
to like promote things in advance. Like they're like,
Yeah,
we're gonna put people into space and like we're all doing
Mhm.
it together and it's gonna be on live TV and all that shit. Whereas Russia was more like, we're gonna do this, and then when we have a success, then we report it. Like they're in
Mhm.
charge.
yeah.
So you
It's,
never
And I don't
really
I even read
found
though
out
that
about things. Yeah.
like. I don't know that America lied that whether people died on some of the trial runs or not. I don't know that. I know that a crew definitely did die in the early '60s. That was supposed to be
Yeah.
like the original, the moon
Yeah, the first
exploration
moon
crew.
attempt. Yeah,
Yeah.
they burned up.
Yeah, they
talking
burned out. But
Apollo
there's some
1.
No, it was like
yeah, I don't know.
9 or 10 or something.
No,
But
Apollo
there's some
1 was the
11?
one that burned on the
There
the
was
launch
more
pad?
than one.
No, it was one.
Really?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
I have to
Because
pull
here
up
it
the
comes.
Wikipedia?
My boy Gus Grissom was an
Your boy,
original
yeah.
Mercury
Yeah.
7 astronaut. Is
Yeah.
credited as being the second American in space, not the first.
Yeah.
First American in space was Alan Shepard. And this was like after Yuri, like America was still not even like orbiting. They were just like, we're putting a dude in space and he's gonna stay there for 10 minutes and then he's coming back down. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Alan Shepard did it, and then Gus Grissom did it. But when Grissom re-entered the atmosphere and he parachuted down, landed, I think it was in the Pacific Ocean, something happened with his door, and the door blew off, and the capsule actually sank to the bottom of the ocean, and like he kind of got like poo-pooed for it because like you just lost this giant
Right.
fucking capsule, right? And like it was heavily debated whether or not there was an emergency exit that he could hit, or there was also one that they could trigger from the outside. So
Yeah.
Right.
either way, it popped off, things sank, he kind of got in shit, right? But then he was later picked to be on Apollo 1, and when they were doing pre-launch tests, something malfunctioned and there was a fire in the cabin,
Cockpit.
and
Yeah.
they couldn't get out because of the pressure difference between the outside and the inside of the
Right.
shuttle, that they couldn't open the door, and they all burned to death and died.
Yeah.
So
And there's like there's a conspiracy with that too, that I guess Gus's son,
Gus Jr.
yeah, Gus Jr. got
Gus.
to got to tour like the capsule afterwards. I don't know how many years afterwards or when afterwards, but he got to like
scrapings on the wall.
yeah, he got to get some closure, I guess, and reported that he saw some kind of like detonation button or something that was like indescribable.
That's bogus.
Yeah, they got it
That's-
There's no
labeled.
way they kept
Listen,
that shit
it's
for
not my
fucking-
it's not my
His
first-hand
kids would have
account
been
or theory.
young.
Yeah,
I did
I
hear
don't know how many
something
years
about,
after
like,
this was.
Don't disgrace
Maybe
Gus.
Gus was like
No, but the
a
American
bit of a
sorry,
radical and outspoken about some things.
the
it
American
might have
government
been-
like tried to twist it because I guess he was kind of involved in something else, space related. Like there was some other hiccup that happened. Maybe it was that lost the capsule thing, but
Yeah.
they tried to spin it after his death that like oh Gus, at it again kind of thing, and like he didn't get
Look
the
it.
praise that he deserved.
If they wanted the guy dead, why the fuck would they send him up like God knows how high in the air on the tip of a rocket just to fucking set him
know.
on fire? Like at that point, just walk into his breakfast table and shoot him in the fucking head, and you're done with it.
think
It's
there's
cheaper, less people see it. Like
Yeah.
like that's
But
so
no
outrageous.
advancement. No
No
advancement.
advancement.
Space.
Yeah, they were
It
so
makes
far
their
behind.
next success that much more valuable, though, if they like have a sacrifice
Look
up,
it, we
up
gotta
front.
kill Gus.
Like, let's start with the human
Maybe.
sacrifice, Gus and his pals, and then Apollo 2 when it takes off. Like, it's a big friggin' deal. Like, it's not just like,
Yeah.
oh, you press the button and you go to space. It's like this.
But
is
they
a-
didn't try to go to the moon until Apollo 11, right?
Apollo
like
11,
it was
yeah.
just
That's what I mean. Like
pre-moon.
Apollo 1 through 10 was just like we're going up and we're doing certain tests and experiments. Like Buzz Aldrin at that before Apollo 11 had walked 6 hours outside of the capsule
Yeah.
and like in
Oh, yeah.
space. So he had
Why
that
are you
like
saying it
record.
like that? Hold on a
What?
second. Why are you saying it like that?
Like what?
Capsule?
Capsule? How do you
Yeah.
say it?
Capsule.
Fucking
Capsule.
car-hole? Like, don't judge
Fucking
me on how I
car-hole.
speak things. This is
It's
an
not a
Ontario
garage.
accent, I guess. The capsule.
Capsule.
It sounds
Yeah.
more scientific. The capsule.
Yeah.
CV threw me off now. I don't know where I was. Talking about capsule. Oh, he was outside of the everything, and
Yeah,
I
6
know
hours.
Lance Armstrong. No, Neil Armstrong
Yeah.
was like the first American to like turn the LEM around and reconnect them, like do the first ever space dock for NASA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you know
And they
he's
did
Sexy.
like a lap around the moon and back and
Yes.
stuff just to see if they could do it.
yeah. I think that was
Mhm.
like
Just the
Apollo
drive-by.
9 or 10. Jim Lovell was the pilot, and they just went around and did like a couple orbits of the moon and then came back. Just to be
Right.
like,
Scouting it.
We got this. You got to scope that
Yeah,
out
yeah.
before you
Yeah.
land it, stick it. But all the
But
while,
then-
like Russia was like, it's
They were
the,
trying.
The one thing, like I'll give
Mhm.
you guys, like like I'll come to you on this one is just like, it did very much
Okay.
seem a lot of the things that I read were like America would be like, hey, we want to send up, we're thinking about sending up a satellite, and
Mhm.
then it was like 2 or 3 weeks later Russia would send up Sputnik, and then it's like, okay, we want to put man into the space and go to the moon, and then Russia would send up Yuri Gagarin or whatever. That a lot
Yeah,
of it, like when they switched from the Mercury rockets to the Gemini rockets, that's when they started doing things like, we want to send more than one person to the moon, and they had like NASA had
Okay.
announced that, like, this is our new ship. And
Mhm.
Russia actually had plans to send up 4 people, but when America said this, they rushed their shit and just sent 3 dudes up in a really tight capsule, and it was so tight that they couldn't wear their spacesuits. So
Couldn't
Oh
even
my
wear a
God.
condom.
they didn't wear a condom when they went. So they sent the 3 dudes up without spacesuits, and when they landed, that was the next big, like, not only did we send 3 dudes up, but we sent them up shirtless, was what they kept saying.
Yeah,
Like, or not like
I
short
read something
sleeves, right?
about
Like,
that.
just sent them
Yeah.
up like businessmen, and it's like, no, they only did that because they couldn't fit. And
Yeah.
like later on, they would send dudes up the same way, and they would die because there would, like, a hole or something would like take place in the launch.
And
You know.
depressurize or something.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, and now you're fucked. You're in space.
Did you read or ever hear the thing about the guy who got, I don't know if he got fired or if he got killed or whatever, but the guy who got in shit for eating the pastrami sandwich?
No.
There's like a
where's this?
picture or video of a guy in one of those capsules fucking eating a pastrami sandwich.
Like a Russian
Yeah.
dude or an
Yeah,
American?
I don't know if it was Russian or American. It's just like a story that I heard, and like,
A fucking mustard sandwich.
in light of that, I guess Neil Armstrong, brother of Lance Armstrong, everyone knows that. He brought up
Everyone.
like a flask of wine and some bread, and did like his communion up there. Did like a communion.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah,
Fuck that guy. Really? We're bringing back. We can't bring this.
Brought
know.
Yeah.
up.
We
Yeah,
can't
you
bring
have to
this
drink
stuff 'cause you're
Tang
bringing your
for
fucking
6
wine
days.
and bread. Are you bringing some for Buzz?
I don't know.
Yeah.
know. You better believe, like, they would have been pissed if he didn't.
Yeah, Buzz is in the corner praying to Mecca, not giving a fuck. He brought his towel.
Who was the
Yeah.
third man? No one gives any attention. Like
Michael
any credit
Collins. Michael Collins or something.
Collins.
Yeah.
Michael
Man.
Collins.
But no one fucking knows him. I just read that name today, honestly.
That's
I
so
had no
funny.
idea. Because I had to look it up. I was like, there was a third guy, right?
There's a third
There
guy
always-
that just
yeah.
Like
stayed in
orbiting
the
the
ship.
moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had to link
Yeah.
back up with them, right? When the
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
lamb
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
So
a ton of like
I got a
moon-
question, actually.
Yeah, okay.
For Rue.
Oh, fuck.
So
Okay, the
last week,
expert.
the expert, yeah, expert one. Last week you talked about watching Planet Earth and how you fucking
your
hate that
roommate.
show
Not
and
high.
with your roommate, not high.
Not high.
And now you can't watch it. You detest it. You hate David Attenborough.
I didn't say that.
Well, you went on about something.
Did I go on about David?
You went on
Sorry,
about
David.
something.
David, if you're listening, I'm sorry, brother. We're all in it together.
And he's definitely listening. You know he is. But you were saying that like you can't watch that show anymore because there's like a CGI, credit. There's a guy credited for CGI in the whatever. So it is like known that, and NASA admits that they digitally alter images and stuff of the planet, like of the Earth.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about NASA, and how do you feel about that shit? Like, is it just like all trust is gone now?
No. I think people, like, since the dawn of photography, have been fucking with light and contrast, right? Like,
exposure,
this is just exposure. I don't think that's makes it, like, that's not the
less
same
believable
as adding a CGI giraffe to the pack, you know?
Sure, yeah. But does that?
I feel like that's
now,
just,
are you pro flat Earth or pro regular Earth?
Are you pro
I'm
globe?
definitely
pro normal
regular Earth, yes.
Okay.
Spherical.
Okay.
I'm not a flat Earth, but I do find it suspicious.
Because flat Earth people, like to use that as an argument, saying that NASA has digitally altered all these images to make it look spherical.
Have they digitally altered them? Because I don't think they had digital technology back in 1950.
That's
see,
fair.
this is the thing that the Earth is so big that every photo you have seen of the Earth is a composite. Like, they cannot get a camera far enough away from the Earth to take a photo that the whole thing's in one shot.
Stop you right there.
Gotcha.
That's absolutely not true.
Okay.
The
Based on what evidence?
Voyager satellite that they sent out.
What year was that in, though?
In the 70s. Carl Sagan.
Exactly.
They put a camera on it, and they turned it around several times and took pictures of the Earth with it. And when on its way,
but if you like look
Saturn, and it went to Jupiter, and then they sent it out of the solar system.
Yeah, I'm not saying I am pro flat Earth. I just say it is suspicious that a lot of the like photos that you think are of the Earth are actually made up of sometimes hundreds of small photos all stitched together in a mosaic.
Okay.
And they kind of just blur the edges because it's not Voyager that's on some fucking monster rocket that's being sent halfway to the moon that they can turn around and take a photo. These are just like low orbit, whatever.
But they can send rockets to the moon and take pictures.
So they say.
So they say.
I don't believe it.
So you believe that you just believe my story about Voyager, but you don't believe that they can send a rocket to the moon?
I think that there's just too much bullshit that I can't believe NASA's accountability.
We've been to Mars. Like, obviously human beings haven't, but have we not sent things to Mars?
They tell us we have,
it's possible. Yeah, I think that rover story seems possible.
They've told us so. See, I think this is my problem with the hoax stuff. Is I think it's far easier to poke holes in someone's story than it is to actually go and do it.
Do it or prove it or
right?
Whatever,
like it's so much easier to be like I seen like when they dispute pictures of the moon landing about like the crosshairs and how it's like how are the crosshairs behind, and it's like
that one's bullshit.
It's all just that one's it's like they took original photos and like do you think every
scanned it or,
every fucking newspaper, CNN, NBC, CBS, do you think all these people got their own individual photos, or did they just get a photocopy of it? And it's like like it shape fucks up in transit. Are you happy with the photo?
Yeah, the crosshair one is one that like I walk right past the crosshair one because it's like there's plenty of reasonable explanations for that. And I mean, and a lot of the things that people like to quote as like, you know, the typical like multiple light sources, the shadows, the flag flapping, like some of that stuff, like there's points made like against that, like, oh, it's obviously on a sound stage and this and that. Like some of those points, like, okay, I can see where they're coming from, but they're also hard to believe. The one that gets me is the background and the backdrop. There's like multiple pictures apparently miles apart from one another with like identical background, landscapes. So it's like that one's a little, I mean, you can, I imagine with no real foreground, that could happen too.
like I the reason for that is it's all about like there's no atmosphere on the moon, right? So like
So
you
no
can see a
particles.
backward, like
Yeah.
a backdrop, like landscape
Yeah.
from miles and miles and miles away, when there's
But
nothing
if
to
you move a
interfere with
mile
it.
sideways,
Would it not be somewhat
or
the same? You know,
that's
like
I
exactly,
think
yeah,
it's
it would
possible
be
that they're somewhat the same, but
somewhat.
I also think it's possible that it's all bullshit.
yeah,
The
I
one
Yeah.
that gets me the most is the live video, because we've all heard the like transmission of like
Yeah.
one small step, like
Yeah.
that's some horrible fucking radio transmission
yeah
going thousands of miles, you know,
yeah.
in 1968, but
Yeah.
somehow they have a live video.
There
Like
was a
fuck
delay.
off.
There would be a delay.
Come on, a
Apparently-
live
Yeah, they
video.
Yeah, no,
people
they did.
talk
I think
about
they
the
filmed
delay.
it, and this is my theory. Okay, here's my theory.
Okay.
I
shoot.
think it is possible that they went, but I also feel like they hedged their bets and recorded it in advance and gave that all in advance to ABC, or did a live hub from the Kennedy Space Center. Like, we're gonna play the video live and give you guys all the feed. I think they hedged their bets.
I believe
So
that's
I
possible.
think
yeah.
11 they may have gone, but all the footage is fake. Like,
I
that
think
was
it's,
all done in
like,
advance.
Is it possible? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you a plausibility.
I think it's possible.
But
yeah.
I think also, like, I was reading that people in Australia saw the moon landing before people in America did, just because of the way the signal hit the Earth. It was in front of Australia. So if they saw it first, it's like it's already happened, right? Like
so they
people seeing it
so they could
live
edit.
in 1968 at this time, it's like it's not live. It's already happened. They're already
Yeah.
out
Right.
and walking around, and what you're seeing is I think it's like I don't know. I think it's like
Delayed.
6 minutes or something stupid a delay that they have. I could be, especially at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time. I don't know. I don't know it
Yeah.
now. But so like if it's delayed getting to Australia, it's gonna be delayed getting to fucking America, right? I think it takes.
But there's audio that wasn't broadcasted originally. Like there's like I don't know if it's secret, but there's like audio that didn't make it into the original broadcasting. I mean, like, because they spent more than 3 hours on the moon or however long that broadcast was, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So I
Allegedly.
mean, like, there's
open.
I don't know. There's people that like to theorize, and like that comes up pretty often. Like the delay and whether the delay was sufficient for how far away they were, and
For sure.
it's interesting stuff. I believe it's possible that what you just said, RJ, with like they hedge their bets on. Well, or basically like, we're going to record something just in case. What if it blows up? What if this? We can't lose this fucking Cold War race now. So they pre-recorded something, whether it be the audio, video, or both, and kind of did a mash of of what we know as the original broadcast. Because I don't know, like there's good points on both sides of that, and with like the whole Stanley Kubrick thing and that whole conspiracy. It's interesting. Like
It's
I
interesting.
think
I think
it's
that's why it's so
possible.
exciting, because
Yes,
there's enough
okay.
on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's possible that they did that they pre-recorded something as a failsafe. Did they use it?
But
Will
let's
anyone
think
fucking
of
know?
America. Think of America for
Yeah.
a second. America loves a good tragedy to rally behind,
Yeah, always have. Yeah.
right? So how awesome would it be? Awesome if you fucking sent someone to the moon and they didn't like it. They fucked up, and it was just like we're doing it for Lance now.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did that at
But
13.
that would be harder to believe. I think they sent someone
I don't
to the moon
think
and there
so.
was,
I think
but
that
there was
adds
nothing.
credibility to it. Even in the movie
Really?
starring Tom Hanks, they talk about the Apollo 13 launch. Like, the ratings were garbage. Like, nobody cared.
Yep.
Until the tragedy, and then all of a sudden everyone cared about it again.
Yeah.
Like, the moon landing was old news.
Yeah.
So they kind of
And then they
like
went-
manipulated the story a bit to like, okay. But like, back to my theory, like, I feel like 11 was fake. If it wasn't fake, I think they pre-recorded some stuff and hedged the bets. but I think like 13 was the legit first attempt at the moon, and they fucked it up. And that's what happened when they actually went that far. You know, the ship just broke apart. Like they hadn't actually gone that far before, and then here's all these problems that occurred. So like after 13, like maybe they sorted it out, because there's a whole bunch of other like they went like 5 or 6 times after that, allegedly.
Now, what about
And they played golf on the moon, and they fucking drove cars and stuff. Like all that stuff
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
pretty silly
about
and
the
gimmicky
reflectors?
to me. Like,
What about the reflectors that they set up on Apollo 11?
I
Let's
don't
hear
know.
about
I think my biggest issue is that all the information you have is from NASA.
For sure.
Like when
Yeah.
their source, like the only source on anything is the people that say they did it. I think that's where there's no like second or third party
The
confirmation
reflector
as
that
far
they
as I
set
know.
up on Apollo 11, basically it's like something that you can beam a signal to, and it will reflect it back to you to prove that we're here. It took them a week, but it was like a university in Northern America, the northern states, I can't remember, that first received it. It took a week for them to find it. And then when Apollo 12 went up, it took them 3 days, and they bounced a signal off it. And every single Apollo mission, other than 13, put one of these on there. I'm pretty sure, and you can still bounce signals off them today. Like
how many days does it take? You have to email NASA troubleshooting, and then all of a sudden your signal shows up.
You could probably find it online. You can do this.
I
Like
don't know.
amateur astronomers do it, right? It's a thing. It's just like the moon has coordinates on it, like the Earth does. It's just like, hey, 42 latitude, 92 longitude. Fire away, and it'll bounce back at you. They've been there. Like I'll be honest with you. I came into this episode with the thought that I thought the first one was fake, and maybe like you're saying, RJ, with Apollo 13, maybe after that, like we've definitely been to the moon. Maybe the first one was fake just to win the race, but after the research I did today, it was kind of just like, you know what? I think they went. Like I think they just did it, and like it was cool. Like,
did you
read
anything about the Van Allen belt and the radiation?
Yeah, but even Van Allen had come out and said that it wouldn't matter. Like they weren't in it long enough that they wouldn't get any more radiation than you would if you stayed outside for a whole year. Like,
what about sending transmissions back through the belt, especially
or
video feed in 1968?
And they film. That was the thing, and
I don't know how film
NASA
works.
says they process the film on board. That's what NASA says. They process all the film on board. It's like, really?
No, I thought they kept it all in. They kept it all in like metal crates and shit. Why would they process it on board?
That's what NASA says.
I don't think NASA says that. Who says that?
They do.
No, they didn't.
NASA.
They had to wait for that shit to come back. They still wait for that shit to come back. Like,
except for the live feed,
that's a technology that they still use today. Like when we took
for Apollo 11,
they
Pluto, said they processed.
It took a while for them to come back. Who processed them? Buzz?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
fucking. I am not Collins, whoever the third guy was.
See, I think honestly,
Michael Collins stayed up there processing
Collins
shit.
is up there, fucking photo lab boy.
Yeah, but
nude. To bring all that shit back, I think they changed their trajectory so they wouldn't be in the Van Allen belts longer than they needed to be.
I saw something about that too. They didn't go through like the extreme areas, and when they did, it was like quickly. Now, okay, question. If you were fucking Grandpapa Collins, Michael Collins, and you were up in that fucking capsule all by yourself, while your boys are on the moon, are you going to have a quick one? Are you going to
It'll clog the instruments.
You would.
Now here's I read about it. I read up on it.
You'd think about it, right?
As far as I know,
you would think about it. Yeah.
Everything I read said that they've never really done any kind of experiments, but the speculation is that they don't think dudes can get hard in space because your blood pressure drops significantly. That they don't think
even
you can
in
send enough blood.
in the pressurized.
Yeah. Maybe it could, yeah, and
Really?
even then, I don't know. Do you think it would just like sit inside? No, if you shot it, it would probably turn to like bullets. I'd be afraid, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, one of the things was that they
Move
like,
faster than light.
yeah, they don't think you can get hard in space. But who
I
knows?
feel like
Waiting for a video
on
from Chris Hadfield.
my totally made up idea of how science works, back to I don't believe in gravity.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be stronger because your
More
your
pressure.
blood doesn't have to fight gravity. Like your heart doesn't
Yeah.
have to fight going all the way to your feet and back up. Like there's all this extra like pressure in the hose.
You probably
Yeah.
because like
It'd be
you also
permabone.
apparently they like in the last year or so they sent up they had two twins, a set of twins, and they sent one of
See
them.
which one could get a boner
This sounds
first.
Yeah.
like a Nazi experiment.
No, it totally does. It's fucking Menschla twins all over again, right? But they sent one twin up into space and they left one on the ground, and they like
in the bottom of the ocean.
and just fucking one was the controlled object and the other one was the experimenting one. And when they came back, they'd like test them against each other, and the one twin that was in space was 2 inches taller than the other twin.
Oh yeah.
Before or after?
After he got
Yeah,
right out
that
of
makes
space
sense.
because of gravity, which RJ doesn't believe in, is always pulling on you.
Is it pushing on you though? That's my thing.
Is it push? Does it fucking matter?
That's the thing though.
Depending on
Like
which
we
side
just
you're on,
all
you're
like
pushing and
just
pulling.
agree like gravity's pulling us down. But
Yeah.
and I remember since the biggest like when I was a child, the example was like if you fill a bucket with water and spin it around, the water doesn't fall out.
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
that's the exact opposite of what you're claiming happens.
It's being pushed out.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
why it's
sucked in,
staying.
yeah.
It's not. It. So I feel like there's a pull, not a. I think it's a push.
Okay.
I think there's something.
So you're again. It's
I
like,
don't
you're not- you
explain
don't
it.
not
Maybe the
believe
Earth
in
is
gravity,
flat and
you
it's
just
on.
think it's, oh,
Maybe
Earth
the
is fucking
whole
round. Can you
galaxy
pass?
is a bucket spinning, and our flat Earth is against the outer rim of it,
Yeah.
and that holds us down. I don't know. The pull thing
This is a push or a pull.
doesn't add up to my grade 10 level of science knowledge.
Grade 10
It
if
just
you're
sounds like
lucky.
one of those like half full, half empty glasses.
Push and a pull is very different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in my life.
Big time.
Have you ever
Yeah.
pooped before?
Yeah. You don't pull it out.
No, you don't pull it out, you heathen.
That's how they did it in Scotland.
Yeah, you would.
No. But back to the moon.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the moon. Yeah, like I thought the one thing that I thought was interesting was again that the Russians were always trying to one up the Americans. But I believe it was in like '66. His name was like Korlov was like the leader
Sounds right.
of not Russia but of their space program, and he died in 1966. And then that was the last time. After that year, Russia was never first again in any of
Yeah, they
the
didn't compete.
space like experiments.
Well, they had that space
Mhm.
station. They
That
still
came
do, I
after.
guess.
That-
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, that's like what I'm saying. They did like take a little break, and then they came back and kind of led the charge on like we'll build a fucking space station
Yeah, for
Low
sure.
orbit.
in
yeah.
low orbit because
low
it's
Earth
impossible
orbit.
to go out past that Van Ryan fucking asteroid belt or whatever you guys were talking about.
Yeah, well,
And
the
I
one
think
thing,
Russia knew
getting
this,
out-
and that's why when the U.S. was like, we went to the moon, they're like, well, we're not going to be able to top that because it's fucking impossible. So,
like
But no,
getting
again,
we'll
I
work
think
on
if
it.
anything,
Thermosphere.
it's not because they
The
couldn't get out there. It was again because they wanted to one up them. It's like, fuck, well, you went to the moon, we can't
Yeah.
one up you. Well, we're just gonna build our own moon and live
Yeah.
on it. You
but
know?
they could
like-
have built that on the moon if they wanted
They
to, I
could've,
guess. But they're
yeah.
like, yeah, we'll just like build a space station
Mhm.
that just circles the Earth. We're not
Yeah.
going past that radiation
as a
belt.
halfway point, like what's the
Yeah.
point?
But
I don't-
again,
yeah,
so
I
like
guess.
no, like I
know.
don't.
Doesn't add
yeah.
up.
No, it adds
See,
up.
now the thermosphere thing is what gets me. Like
It's like
they
OJ
say
in the
that
glove.
doesn't add up.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
fit. Talk about
But like in
contrast.
they say the thermosphere like can reach like temperatures of thousands of degrees Celsius, right?
Right.
And the materials they used in the original shuttles like were stainless steel, aluminum,
Aluminium.
nickel, something, all that crap, and the melting points are lower than what temperatures can reach when ascending.
Right.
So I
But
don't, or descending, coming back in, and that's why they burn up.
But what about the fact that they cool all that shit? Like, do you ever
I don't
see
know. I don't
when?
know. Have
No,
you
they
seen
cool
the
it. Like, do you
aluminum
ever see
foil on the
Apollo
outside of all the
Apollo
spaceships?
13?
Like, how
Yeah,
does
no,
that fucking shit hold
they
up?
cool the ship. One, two. How long are they spending in this point that it would completely cause everything to melt to the point that you're?
I
You
don't
know what I
know.
mean? Like, have you ever touched a stove and you're just like, oh, that's past my boiling point, but I didn't touch it for long
Yeah.
enough, right? Like, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
part of it. Like,
You
is
should
it?
have. You
Yeah,
should
if
have
you
touched it
sent
longer.
somebody up there and hung out in there, then yeah, you're probably not gonna. Like, I remember
Not gonna
watching
make
this
it.
show on the very first people that discovered that oxygen didn't exist in space, and it was dudes
Ooh.
in hot air balloons, and they just
Okay.
it was two dudes. They took a hot air balloon up as high as they could, and they
Straight up.
and they both fucking passed out because there was no oxygen. But then this, like, what saved them was that because they passed out, there was no one to pump the heat anymore, and the
Oh,
fire
okay.
went
Came back
out.
down.
So they came down
No
and they like
oxygen again.
regained consciousness.
Mm.
This was in the early like 1900s, and then they were just
Yeah.
like, "Fuck!
Wow.
If we want to go any higher, we need to make oxygen machines. Like, we need oxygen hoses, really long hoses."
Yeah.
Yeah, So I don't know. It's all a learning process. I just think like eventually, yeah, you're gonna learn. Hey, if we can't stay in this, like, let's get out of it as quick as we can. Only get your dick
Yeah.
wet and then get out, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Makes you think though
I
of those
I
first
just thought it was
like
interesting.
cosmonauts, like how fucking crazy you had to be
Yeah.
to volunteer to be like, yeah, just send me up. Like they know nothing.
Nothing.
They didn't even know there was radiation until they sent out a bunch of cosmonauts and they fucking melted. And then they're like, okay, so they need spacesuits. Like there's no way in advance that they knew, like, oh, you need spacesuits.
No, they're
It's like it's
sending
all
up
trial
shirtless.
and error. Yeah, they had to send someone up and be like, oh, his eyes exploded and he melted and froze at the same time. Like, he should probably wear a jacket.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, again, back to like the Leica. Her whole thing was even just like, can we send something up and it survive up there, right? Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying, like, not even jackets, not even boots or oxygen. Just like, if can a life survive in outer space, right? And
Right.
I don't think human beings are built to survive in outer space at all.
No.
Like,
No,
that's
definitely not.
a big tricky part that's gonna turn into the. I know you guys don't think we got to the moon, so going interstellar. There's no
I
point.
think we did. I think we
But-
did. Not with Apollo 11.
Yeah, I think I'm on Mike's team. Like, I think it's possible, but I also think it's real possible that you can't trust NASA's account of what happened. And
For sure.
Apollo
Also,
11
can
just
we go-
seems like, Kennedy made that thing. Like, by the end of the decade, we'll get there. And then, like, they're running out of time. And it's like, all right, we're there.
Another
We
interesting
got this.
thing I read was that apparently Kennedy, during Eisenhower's presidency, was super against the space program.
Right.
Was very outspoken that he thought that Eisenhower wasn't doing enough at home and shouldn't focus on the stars. But then it wasn't until like Yuri got up there and they realized like what was
In the early 60s.
and then it
Right,
was like
yeah.
1962, I think, or 61, 62, when he like had a speech at Congress that was just like, we got to do this, like, we're gonna be humiliated, kind of basically what it was, like, they're gonna show how small our dicks are. You got to get up there and do this.
What it comes back to every time, though, it's just like the science
'em out.
wasn't number one as much as NASA likes to pretend we did this for science. It's just a Cold War
Oh yeah,
dick measuring contest.
yeah. There was also
Yeah,
like I read
super
a thing
cold.
about how one of the reasons why they kept the Apollo program going through the early 70s was because it was good morale for America, because they were also in Vietnam, like
Vietnam,
fucking
yeah.
up.
Right.
And so it was like, hey, but at least we're going to the moon. And then as soon as Vietnam ended, they stopped sending people to the moon. Like, it wasn't the money had run out, and they fucking had spent a lot of money on a war, right? But it was like that was one thing I found weird. Like, oh, once you stop fighting in Vietnam, like you're not going to the moon for another. Never, like no one's ever been
till
back.
America needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till
So
Trump
I mean,
wants
if they're gonna be measuring dicks,
Yeah.
why didn't they call it the lukewarm war? And I mean, the Cold
Yeah.
War, really?
Cold War.
Everyone's
who's,
gonna take
like, I
their
don't
dicks
know,
out in the Cold War.
Who's
Turtle
got the
dicks.
biggest dick when it's cold and shriveled? That's that's a man.
That's a true test.
Yeah, that's
a true test.
If I flex really hard, I can make it real big. But if I just get cold, you can't hide it. You know.
So, what do you guys think of the lost footage?
Like
the lost
Apollo
original
18?
footage? No, the Apollo 11 original
Lost
footage.
I don't think
never
I've
saw
seen
it.
this.
NASA claims that they lost the footage, and this was for years and years and years.
Yeah, I have heard
And
about
then-
that.
I don't know which one predates the other, but there's two accounts I heard recently. One is that they found the original, like magnetic whatever reel tapes, like the original tapes,
Yeah,
and some NASA official computers in a garage in
yeah.
Pennsylvania or
Sounds
something like that.
legit. Okay.
That's what they say, and they say like they discovered these tapes and they were too damaged to recover them.
Mm-hmm.
So they just disposed of it. And another account is that they found the tapes and they recorded over them. Like
That's the
those
one
are
I
the
heard.
two.
Yeah, I
two
think
claims
they recorded
from
over
NASA.
them. I don't
During
think,
the lean years
Yeah.
before they realized like Smithsonian would probably want this. They just
Yeah.
like
Everybody wants that. That's like
yeah.
Yeah.
the biggest accomplishment of mankind, if it happened, allegedly.
No.
Yeah.
But
Right?
so what's
It is.
the
originals
It's
are
undoubtedly
lost.
one of the biggest accomplishments, and you just fucking record over
what's
it.
the
Come
Kubrick
on.
nonsense?
So there's people who like,
Perfectly.
yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen Room 247?
I have.
Skylar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Or The
aware of
Shining.
it. Let's give a refresher,
A rundown.
a rundown for
Yeah,
the
okay.
fans, and I'll.
Yeah, you can take it, RJ. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but
What's the
the
story behind the
gist
cube?
is the Kubrick, not Kubrick.
Capsule,
Capsule
tomato,
is
potato.
that when he made 2001: A Space Odyssey,
In the
the,
60s.
the folks at NASA were like, yeah, like that's probably what space looks like.
That's believable.
We're gonna hire him to do a moon landing,
Mm-hmm.
and then his next
As a
film
fail-safe,
was
potentially.
The Shining, and he left a whole bunch of clues in The Shining
Yeah.
that kind of tip off that he was the one that
affiliated.
he was affiliated with the Apollo moon landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things like I haven't read The Shining book in a long time, but the room that the dead bodies were
Yeah.
in was like room 109 or something.
237.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
Kubrick's movie, it's room 237, which is how many
Yeah.
thousand miles it is from the Earth to the moon.
Yeah.
The little kid wears an Apollo sweater and plays with a rocket ship at certain scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's
And
a
they
bunch
say
of little.
the carpet
car-
looks like the launch pad.
Yeah, there's one like specific scene where he picks up the rocket ship and stands up straight, and
It's on his
like,
shirt. It says Apollo
It's on his shirt. It
11
literally says
on his
Apollo
shirt.
and has a
Yeah.
yeah. Like there's a whole bunch of like, if he
When did
wasn't
this movie come out?
The Shining's the 80s?
78 or something.
Late 70s, early 80s.
79. It was a good 10 years later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just a whole bunch of like weird moon coincidences within The
Mhm.
Shining that conspiracy people point to. Kubrick kind of like tipping his hat that like he was the moon landing guy.
I mean, you can draw conclusions from almost anything. I think it's fun and interesting to believe that he had some role in it and that all those things are like the telltale signs. Like
Yeah.
the funniest one is the tang. Like at one point,
Yeah,
you know, it's like they're in the kitchen of the hotel or whatever the fuck that place is, and there's just a big bunch of tang on the shelf, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's another
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
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 marker.
That's where it gets silly because you could
Yeah.
point at anything and be like, "Oh, there's like
they
4
do.
doorways in this scene, and that represents this." Like, but there is
Yeah.
some like pretty big ones, like changing the
Well,
room to 237, and the kid wearing a fucking
shirt.
Apollo shirt. That's like,
Yeah.
But he
okay,
changed lots of stuff from that book.
He did, yeah.
He did.
But
Like,
that's
that
the
one
point.
of your
wasn't
boys
even, like,
there,
an
Stephen.
But that's the
adaptation of that
thing.
book at all.
Yeah, but like the other things he changed were like intentional changes.
Yeah, I get that.
So when he does change something, it's not just because like, oh, whatever, we have a bunch of Apollo shirts laying around.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason he did it.
But is the reason he did it because he directed it, or is it because he just believes that it was fake?
Well, he never said anything.
That's
Like, he
like,
has,
I think
he
that's
didn't say
like the
shit.
the
weirdness.
biggest non-disclosure of all time.
One of the
I imagine
things
he signed.
Yeah.
that I read was that
Have to be.
hoaxes and conspiracies really took off in the 70s after the Watergate happened, like with
Right.
Nixon, because it kind of like confirmed like, hey, these people were colluding about stuff. And everybody, like, after that, it was just like, that's where like the JFK shit comes in, like his conspiracy hoax, the moon hoax, civil rights hoax.
It really takes off. In the
like
70s.
Did you just say civil rights was a hoax?
No, I'm not saying it was a hoax. I'm sure there was hoaxes associated
Hoaxes,
with it.
yeah, associated.
Like,
sure,
oh, it wasn't this, it was that. Like, it was aliens. I don't know. Like, alien hoaxes, right? Like, all that shit fucking took off then. And the only difference, though, is, like, in the Watergate one, like, it was, like, a high ranking, like, the associate to the FBI that was, like, the deep throat guy that ousted Nixon, right?
Nixon, yeah.
I just, like, when it comes to all these hoaxes with Kubrick and shit, it's like, where is the one person of all the thousands and thousands of people that worked on these things that's a credible person that could come forward and be like, hey, look it, first three we faked, the other
Now
four were there.
There are people their testimonials are online, people that were affiliated that claim certain things like that. Like they claim that they were a part of the filming. There's one of the, and most notably one of the cameramen or the cameraman for the whole Stanley Kubrick thing. Apparently he came forward. I don't think he is.
I just mean, like, if they killed Gus Grissom on the fucking platform and burned him alive.
Yeah, I don't think that fella's alive.
That guy's dead as soon as he's done filming.
Yeah.
No one knows about that shit, right? Like,
because
no, they can't afford
to let that out. Not the biggest, but like a big like deterrent to that conspiracy is like, oh, but by now someone would have said something. Like, there's so many people involved.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like on the other side
that.
of that, like there could be a small amount of people that are included in the Kubrick like filming of the fake moon landing, and then everyone else in NASA like doesn't have to be involved.
No,
like they don't have to know that the feed isn't live, that there's someone just hit play on a recorder, 2 rooms over. Yeah, like everyone in mission control is monitoring numbers and stuff. Like they aren't all in on it. It's not like there's 300 people in on it that are all just like wink, wink. The oxygen level's great.
But don't you
think they're monitoring something?
One of those astronauts would have said something. Like Neil Armstrong went to Congress in the mid 2000s to plead to go back to the moon. About how
he also has like a really interesting speech somewhere. If you Google like Neil Armstrong, like I don't know, he doesn't basically. But he like winks like you can't believe everything you hear in the media. He did like when people graduate, what do you call that? Like
a speech.
Some kind of like speech when the university graduates and they do like a guest speaker.
Oh yeah.
Neil Armstrong does one, and he kind of like wink, don't believe everything you hear. And he was pretty famous for like after the moon landing, he did like a world tour of everyone like ask him a million questions and suck his dick a million times.
Yeah.
And then since then he's been like done, like I'm retired, like fuck NASA, I'm out of it. And then on the other hand, like Buzz Aldrin's been the one that's like pulling up a fucking church table anywhere he can, like he just wants attention. But like Neil Armstrong was like big on like I'm done with this, like don't give me attention for this, like goodbye. And he did that like coronation, I don't know the word, some speech he gives. If you like look up like Neil Armstrong's speech, he admits that NASA or the moon landing's fake. Like he doesn't say that, but he says something kind of weird.
In like a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way, is like don't believe everything you hear. Like your heroes are here on Earth, not elsewhere. Like something like that.
Okay.
Like, but again, it's just like,
But I
don't
met
believe
Neil.
everything you hear. It's like this one
Well, it's
speech the
weird
guy
that
gave in
fucking
his
Neil Armstrong
85
would be
years
saying
of
that.
life. He also said
Yeah.
one small step for man. One finally for mankind.
Well,
I don't know.
there's also like skepticism over like the picture of Neil Armstrong taking his first steps.
You have Neil Armstrong in quotes.
Neil
That's not his
Armstrong.
Neil
name.
Armstrong.
Yeah, taking his first steps because I mean, there's people like NASA says that the camera was on the rover or on the shuttle or whatever, and some people like to theorize that maybe it was Buzz Aldrin in that picture, and that Neil.
Right.
I almost called him Neil Young. Neil
Neil Young,
Armstrong.
is that what it? No.
Yeah, Neil Young was the first person on the moon, and that's where you hear that iconic "one small step for man" thing. But the picture is actually of Buzz.
Right, coming down
Yeah.
after him.
Coming down after, yeah. So there's like I don't know. There's
I'd buy that,
so many holes.
I'd buy
People
that.
just
I
like to
read that
dig
it
and
was
dig.
just like on the side of the lamp, like that was how it worked. That's how it was designed.
Yeah,
like,
that's
there was a camera.
and the
on
same with
boom.
like the footage when they took
Take
off,
off.
right?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that's super crazy. Like to watch that is just like I don't know. It's really strange to watch that footage.
oh,
It's
for
really
sure.
like kind of haphazard angle. It's strange. Like there's people like to talk about that too. How there's no char or any burn marks on the surface of the moon from them taking off, and how
landing,
it doesn't require the same amount of energy or force to take off, so there wouldn't be any burn marks, and they use a
Correct.
certain type of fuel. But I don't know. It's like it's interesting to think of both sides. I'm not a believer one way or the other, but
Yeah.
it's interesting shit that people like to.
Interesting as shit.
I just think too, like
theorize.
matter reacts differently in a vacuum, and like space is a vacuum. So like
But the moon's not a vacuum. There's just
the
less gravity.
No, the moon is in a vacuum.
Gravity.
There's no, it's a vacuum. That's why, like, if you got
The moon
punctured,
is?
yeah, it's in a vacuum. There's no atmosphere. If you punctured your suit,
Okay.
you'd be fucked. You'd
Yeah, but
suck
you're not
out
going
of
to
it.
drift away or
Blood would
anything.
boil.
No, there's a gravity, but gravity and pressure are different things,
Okay.
right? Like, but
I don't know.
You're the
I don't
expert.
even believe in
Yeah, you're
I'm
gravity.
the
not an
expert.
expert, but it's just like shit wants to occupy other things. So when there's, if you got a bucket of water and you poke a hole in it, that water wants to get out. It's the same as like your suit. Like if you punctured your suit, you'd fucking get sucked out of it eventually. Or like think of
Because
like
the difference in pressure.
those people that would go,
Instantly,
in
yeah.
those old timey suits, and they would go down to the bottom of the ocean. And,
Yeah.
like, if they lost pressure,
yeah.
they would just get crushed and smushed to nothing because that's just
Not Cuba
Mhm.
Gooding Jr.
not Cuba. No, but that was.
Aren't those called aqua lungs, or is that something else?
Yeah.
I think that's something else. I think
I
you
don't
made
know.
that up.
But those
Yeah.
things are cool. The big brass helmets.
But because like I was even reading about people saying like how come like the astronauts when they would leave footprints, but then like the lamb wouldn't make that impact
Yeah.
crater. But like
Yeah.
the argument I read
Thank
was
you.
it's the same as just like if you it's all about weight distribution, and like it's a smaller foot opposed to the giant giantness of everything
Mhm.
spread out over like like it wouldn't just sink down.
And what I heard about that was like when they were descending, they're obviously using thrusters or whatever to stay level, and
Yeah.
that would have dispersed all the
Just blown it all
sediment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I did read too that like both
It's interesting either
I
way.
believe it's India, China, and Japan are all like they all want to go to the moon, and they've all
Yeah.
taken pictures of the moon independently and taken pictures of the landing spots.
Mhm.
Some of them they can see the flags, some of them they can see footprints, some of them they can see tracks in the ground, and shadows that it's like indecisive, but it could be like the landing pad for the lamb and stuff.
See, I'm sure that America dumped a bunch of their garbage up there, but like, did
They just
people
shot up a
fucking
care
Yeah.
package.
Now, with that
right?
said,
Did
the Russians
people go there?
The Russians definitely would just shoot shit at the moon for the very beginning of it, right? Like it was
Sheer
again,
pleasure.
yeah, we're not coming back. We're not sending it back. We just want to see if we can hit it, and they,
Yeah.
they did. They did a bunch of times. So did the States. That
Expert
was,
Expert Skylar.
Oh no.
I've also come across in my readings and YouTube video knowledge that the moon is kind of in a weird place where it's
Sitting
too
Gatorade,
close for like
its own britches.
a Hubble telescope to point at, but also too far away for anyone to actually take any photos, and that's why there isn't really any photos of the flags or anything. Like you say, allegedly Japan has a photo of the flag
In China.
I heard the Hubble thing too.
in China,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
like you
because-
can't just like look for these photos anywhere because amateur photographers like can't see it. It's too far away.
Well, and like Hubble is like
It's not
focused.
like a photograph the way
Yeah.
we think of a photograph.
you-
It's like
if
an
you-
infrared.
if you try to take a
thing.
picture
Yeah,
with Hubble of
Layered.
the moon, I don't think you would see anything because it's like the focus is
exactly.
like supposed to be so far out. I've looked at the
Yeah,
moon
eons
through
away.
telescopes, and
Mhm.
you know, I'm not saying I saw anything, but you can see some shit that's like pretty detailed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definition for sure. You can.
There's
yeah.
definition, but you can't see the fucking golf cart or anything.
No, but
No,
like
no.
you can take pictures of the moon. Who's like, where are you reading that you can't take pictures
Well,
of the moon?
you can take pictures of the moon, but
No, the
not in
Hubble
any
thing.
detail
You
that
can-
you can see the golf cart with like.
Did you not see that
bunch of
video
tire
of the
tracks
dude with like
behind
the
it.
camera that can like videotape the rotation of the Earth?
No, that's fake.
No, that's real. It's just like a fucking GoPro, like these brand new Canyon GoPro shits. Like if you zoom it in, like you can
Yeah.
watch the Earth spin. Like you can fucking take
Huh.
pictures of the moon. You can zoom in on shit. You can take pictures of your
What
neighbor.
what RJ's talking
Sees
about though
herpes.
is the Hubble thing. It's like too high powered to take like a accurate picture of
Yeah.
the moon.
Yeah, so don't use it to look
That's
at
what
the
you were
moon.
saying.
Look past
Yeah,
Pluto
I'm
with
not.
that shit.
I'm not. I don't have
But
a Hubble.
it's one of those things that
Look at the
adds to
Capricorn
the
nebula.
possibility of the hoax that there's no like telescope on Earth that can look at the moon and see
Effectively,
the-
yeah.
see anything
Yeah, but-
because it's too close. So there's huge, intergalactic telescopes in like South America or something that can see billions of light years away.
Yeah.
But it's too powerful of a microscope or telescope to look at the moon. You wouldn't see anything. And then on the other hand, all the amateurs that have the like biggest high-powered telescopes you can buy at your local Hobby Shark, like that's not powerful enough to see the golf cart. So there's this weird like blurry middle of
Yeah. There's satellites that aren't probably Hubble that can take pictures of the moon.
but there isn't photos of it. Like you say,
But you
China
can
and
look-
Japan
China,
and India
Japan,
have these
and
photos.
India. I gave you 3.
Yeah, but where are those photos released? Like that's like they say they have them allegedly.
No, you can see them on the internet. The internet's
All
a
right,
wonderful
I'll look
thing.
them up.
Yeah,
I'll
oh yeah,
look it
you
up.
can like you're trying to tell me
It's
you
not a
can't take
composite
pictures of the
photo.
moon. They just found fucking water on the moon. Like they can take pictures of the moon. They've been there.
I
They're
don't know
going like
about
they want to
that.
go back, right?
They want to go for the first time.
Apparently the problem was the first time that they allegedly went, and when they landed in the Sea of Tranquility is what it was
with
called.
their Casio calculators
It
in
was at
1968.
the
in that crater.
equator of the moon because it was
Oh.
the easiest part to get to because it sticks out the furthest. But at the
Mm,
poles, they have found ice, and now there's like a reason to go back because there's water there that you can, you don't have to bring water with you. You can just turn the ice into
Just
fucking water.
bottle it.
Bottle that shit up.
Yeah,
Some
bottle that
moon
shit.
water.
Nestle wants to go, or Nestle
so yeah,
wants
so
to go.
Nestle
Yeah.
owns the moon
Yeah,
now,
they're
or
gonna.
what?
I don't think you can
Yeah.
own the moon. There's a treaty over it.
They'll figure it out.
Well,
One-
Trump just started this fucking space agency or whatever.
Yeah, that's like
They're gearing up for something.
when someone told me that,
I
that
didn't
was
know
like
that.
the first thing I thought of was like, isn't there's a treaty? I know there's a treaty that like you're not supposed to militarize space, and like the moon is like a neutral. You can't own the moon. No, like this happened in the Cold War. Like this was like the one
Yeah.
thing that came out of the Cold War and the space race that was kind of like good was like both parties involved realized like, hey, just because we're racing over this, like, and I'm gonna plunge my fucking flag into it doesn't mean it's American soil. Like this is different than Manifest Destiny, right? Like,
Or on the other side, they both like wink, wink. No one's recording this.
we're
We
doing.
both know that no one can get there, so let's just agree to disagree.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the moon stays neutral, and then we both have to,
Fight over it.
Acknowledge.
So you're saying there's an asterisk in that treaty?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There's an asterisk in every treaty.
And every treaty has an asterisk.
So what do you guys think about that Challenger shit? Have you heard any hoax or conspiracy related stuff to the
Oh, there's
Challenger
a
mission?
billion. Yeah.
I think that was just a malfunction, and they died. I think they
Yeah.
survived
Well,
the
there's
explosion.
there's people that
I
like to
think.
think,
You think
yeah,
they
and
fell to Earth in pieces?
I think they
yeah,
fell to the
that's
earth in
what I've been
pieces.
hearing
But
too.
like, what do you do?
Yeah.
It's not like the
Yeah.
shuttle has a fucking like. Here's your parachute. Here's your helmet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope
Yeah.
it works for you. Piece of mind.
Here's your good socks.
Yeah, put your
I
seatbelt
That'll
remember
keep
on.
you warm.
the late 2000s when that other like last shuttle like burned up on re-entry.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that
that
was
was pretty
fucked.
wild to watch on TV.
And just like spread across the southern United
Texas
States.
or some
yeah,
shit,
like
yeah.
Texas, Louisiana, Florida all got hit with debris. Like that's
Yeah, I
pretty
only
fucked
vaguely
up.
remember that. That is, yeah.
That was like a piece
But with
of
the whole Challenger thing, it's like there's people that like to believe that those crew members, some of them are still alive. Like
I have seen those videos.
there's
Yeah, it was all
documentation
faked.
online of like
Yeah.
these people. They look fucking identical, aged obviously 30, 40 years, whatever, but
Yeah.
look fucking identical,
Wow.
and with the same names. Like they're not even trying. You know?
Well, they didn't predict in 1988 or whenever that happened that like the internet will be a thing and you can just like
YouTube, yeah.
look on Facebook for
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, I don't
Kareem.
know
What's
about
her
that.
name? Something Campbell. I don't
Roberta Bondard.
know. I don't remember her name.
Or was that
Yeah,
the
they'll just like
Canadian girl?
that was the Canadian girl.
And like NASA claims that like their reasoning to at least two of the accusations is that they have undocumented twins that they didn't know about. Like NASA says that. Like they're like, "Oh no, that's just their twin. It's Ryan and Brian." You know?
Yeah.
That's
Greg and Craig.
So here's the other like bullet in your guys. A lot of the stuff you guys are saying, like you talk about how
Okay.
you don't believe the shit
Shoot me,
that
baby.
NASA says, but then
Right.
when
I
NASA
just
comes
think
out
it's
and
funny.
says they got undocumented twins, you take it as gold.
No,
Like,
you take that
No,
as like what a
no, that's
horrible
total
NASA said
bullshit.
it. NASA said it.
That's total
no, that's
bullshit.
the
It's not
total
gold.
opposite of it. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh yeah, see, he has a twin. It's like, no, look at this bullshit answer
Yeah.
when they get painted
Yeah.
into a corner.
But again,
Yeah,
it's like
and
a
then
lot
it's
of
Same
up
the,
to you
deal
to
with
prove
the
it.
Russians saying that every one of their like failed launches was unmanned.
But I
the
mean,
same
like I
deal.
also
It's like,
saw.
of
I
course
watched
it
a
was.
video today
Yeah,
of Stanley
course they have twins.
Kubrick before he died, admitting that he filmed the first launch, the first landing.
There is
of
a
the
video
moon.
of that?
Apparently, there was a
Damn.
video where there was like a guy interviewing
wow.
him. But
Wow.
it's also since come out that it was fake. And if there's other video
Yeah.
of him calling the guy Tom and being like, "This is like what my direction I'm giving you, like what I want you to do," that it's like.
Right.
I just think
I
it's
didn't
a
see that.
lot of it's. I think it comes back to what I said earlier about how it's just easier to poke holes and say it's not true
is.
than it is to just be like, dude, like these guys spent billions of dollars and went to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Like, we got the rocks.
No, I
to
agree
prove
that
it.
I agree that if you have like a goal in mind and to disprove something, that you can definitely find
Yeah.
some.
Do you guys
you know,
believe
reason
in
there.
like carbon dating?
Yeah.
Because they've carbon dated the
believe it's
moon
possible.
rocks, which if they came from the moon, as
That's
like
where I have a question.
hundreds and millions of years older than the Earth,
Right.
right? And that
That doesn't make sense.
but they've also found rocks on Earth that they know are from the moon because of their makeup that are the same age
Mhm.
as the ones from the
The
moon.
composition. Yeah, I don't know.
Like
The
maybe
moon rock
maybe there
thing
was
is
a
blurry
trip where
to
they
me.
just went around and collected a bunch of rocks from the Earth that came from the moon. But it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know.
Hmm.
It adds up, boys.
There was a story earlier this year of this like lady that says like she's suing NASA because like her great uncle or something was like worked at NASA and like thefted himself some rocks and gave it to her as a present. And she
Yeah.
was like trying to sell them on eBay, like moon rocks. And then NASA's like after her because it's like stolen property. And it's like one side of it is like, okay, but she didn't steal it. She didn't know they were stolen. It was a gift. And then the other side is like, it's NASA's property. Like you shouldn't. Maybe it was even like Neil Armstrong. Like it was someone important, like had given her these rocks. And it's like,
Sounds
why does
familiar,
NASA want
eh,
them so
RJ?
bad that
Sounds familiar.
yeah, there's something like it's either like okay, NASA's just doing it on the principle of like you can't sell these because they don't belong to you, or is it because we can't have these out in the general public where anyone can like test it and see that this is just like sand from, you know,
Yeah.
the Gobi Desert.
Yeah.
Don't you have a story about some stolen rocks?
Don't we all?
I've definitely stolen some rocks from, I don't remember where it was in Mexico.
Some
went to,
important place
Sure,
in
we've all
Mexico.
stole a rock or two in our day.
I went to some friggin' Mayan temple, and there was like a gift shop selling T-shirts
I'm sorry I
and
brought it up.
flutes
I
and
don't want you to-
blankets and shit. And I was like, why would anyone want this stuff when you can just get the real deal? And I remember coming back through customs after taking myself some Mayan temple home with me and just being so paranoid.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I've ever been so
shit.
scared going through customs in my life.
Like, am I cursed or?
Am I cursed?
definitely cursed.
Like,
I believe in
I'm sorry for
curses.
outing you. You can cut
if
that
they
out if
ask,
you want.
like,
Don't
these
air
are
this
just
in
average
Mexico.
beach rocks from my
I
fish
mean,
tank.
not Mexico. I don't know. Should we ask an expert?
Yeah. On that note.
On that note.
Ask an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anybody got any good questions? I think
I don't have a good one.
I'll
You
start.
can start it.
I'll start. This
Yeah.
is just
Start it.
A layup? What do we
this
got?
is just a layup. I guess kind of in line with what we've talked about. Like, what do you guys think about aliens on the moon?
On the moon or in general?
Is that why they never went back?
No, they
There's
never
a
went
theory
there to
about
begin
that.
with.
They're never there to begin
There's a
with.
theory.
Yeah, RJ's answer
There's
never
a-
went. No reason to be scared.
It never went, so fuck
Yeah.
them.
There's no aliens.
Yeah,
no.
there's a theory that they did encounter some extraterrestrial life, and that's why they stopped going.
Yeah.
That basically they said, yeah, you can explore, but these are your parameters, and anything more than that, who knows? I don't know.
That dark
What
side,
the
don't-
conversation actually? Yeah.
don't
Don't go over there.
Expert Skylar, what was the NASA mission where there's like the footage of like the UFO outside the window?
Oh, see, that's where it was Buzz Aldrin.
That was Buzz?
So
Yeah, it was
whether
11,
like he's
yeah.
just an attention whore making shit up, which kind of
Yeah.
came up. That's why I didn't want to bring this up. But this is why I think
I definitely met that guy one time at a comic book convention.
oh, wow,
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
He was just like, he was just like chilling.
no, so he
And it's
wasn't
like,
Buzz.
wow,
Oh,
like
wow.
you can get in line to meet Buzz Aldrin, or you can get in line to meet someone from Firefly, and the line for Firefly was way longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. But so yeah, he
For literally no reason.
Buzz Aldrin once said that when they were going to the moon the first time, that he saw something following them, and
Yeah.
didn't want to saw something following them, didn't want to alert anybody, but there is like NASA Camcom recordings about, or Capcom
A conversation.
Yeah.
about him
Mhm.
asking like, hey NASA, like how close is the closest, like, I'll say module, it's not the word, but basically at the time
or satellite or something.
basically at the
Capsule?
time
Do you
the
mean
rocket
capsule?
basically the rocket that they went up in would break
Just
off
say it.
into
Just say
capsule
capsule. Yeah.
would
Yeah.
break off into different parts and
And fall into the Pacific Ocean
fall back
unmanned.
and burn up and shit. Oh, they burnt up.
Unless it lands on India
but-
and they just don't care.
And some of them, either way, depending on when they dropped them, would stay in orbit and hang around for a bit. So he basically radioed in, like, how close is the closest one? And they said something like, oh, it's over China, like 2,000 kilometers away. And he was
Crashing
just
the
kind
tunnel
of
already.
like, oh, thanks, Houston, like over and out. But then, like, it was totally like he knew that he couldn't say
Yeah.
anymore because they were all being recorded and this shit would come back to him. So it was like, we got to hang on to this till the post briefing.
Right.
That
Yeah, it's a juicy nugget.
yeah. So that's why, honestly, like when you guys dispute the Apollo 11 landing, it's like I hear that story and it's like not only did they go, it sounds like they saw fucking aliens, like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I
where
think it's possible they went. I just think it's also the live feed just doesn't add up to me. That I think they might have just like fudged the landing in advance as a failsafe, play that live.
Yeah.
Once they like got there and like shitty, like all fucking whatever he said, one small step from it. When you got that, like, hey, this is Neil, we made it. Play the video, like roll it, Tom. and then they played this like Stanley Kubrick video, and then they came back and acted like that was all real. Like I think that's where I land. I think it's totally possible that some like extraterrestrial life kind of got like wind of like, hey, these fucking guys have like developed the technology to get off their planet. Let's go like take a look.
Yeah.
I mean, if extraterrestrials exist, then they probably know what the fuck is going on
Yeah,
with
the
us.
same way if like
Maybe.
we got word that some monkeys started like making fires and riding bicycles, we'd be like, we should probably check these guys out.
We're hugely responsible.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that. But yeah.
Now, yeah, I heard something similar to what you, or like pretty much, I guess exactly what you said. Not similar, exactly what you said about Buzz Aldrin's, Buzz Aldrin seeing that ship or something while they were en route. And then what did you call this? Tranquility, the Bay of Tranquility,
Sea of
or something.
Tranquility.
So apparently, when they landed in that crater, there was like a front line of, ships or extraterrestrial beings or whatever the case, and yeah, I guess they got spooked about it and and
And then
warned
went back
and
6 more times.
yeah, and but basically that's what they're saying is that like these are your parameters and
don't go with
don't
or out of them.
don't go any further than that. Yeah.
Quit leaving
Yeah,
your
I heard something
goddamn
about that.
space junk all over this moon.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what about you? Next question.
Yeah, okay, I was just wondering, like, I think it was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago now where NASA did the open call for like people volunteering to go to Mars.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
thinking about those original cosmonauts that like don't know fucking anything, and they're basically picked because they can withstand cold weather, not eating for a few days.
Like said they'd go, yeah.
What do you guys think? Would you, you're probably never coming back. You're probably gonna die. You're probably no happy ending, but your name is gonna go down in history forever. You going to Mars?
That. Nope.
Makes sense.
Nope. I'd say I'd rather be forgotten and do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. No.
I
No, didn't you live with a fella that was a part of the program or something?
Probably.
Wow.
One of the Romanians.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think you could
I
can sign up for it, right? Like it's,
anyone can sign up. Yeah. Now
It's
that you
not
say that, like, yeah, I feel like I heard one of my old roommates mention that they signed up,
Yeah.
but I don't think they even like selected anyone. It was just like, here's the open call. We'll whittle it down to 1,000 and let you know, like, if we need you.
Yeah.
But that's also like NASA just pretending they do shit.
Yeah.
Like that's all they did. That's their budget.
As
They
they
got
do.
32 grand. Like, we'll open an email account and accept some applications and then close it.
Yeah, I would. I'd be all over that. I'd straight up go.
You would?
I'd
Mars?
go. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow.
For sure. I don't fucking
Well,
do
I'm gonna
anything
miss
in
you,
my
chump.
life. I get to go fucking into outer space and see Mars and get some Martian strange. Sorry, roommate.
Okay.
There's potential.
Yeah.
There's potential there.
Maybe
yeah.
I'll
Get a
come back
Martian
for you,
roommate.
you and the cat, but probably not. I would be all over that shit. I'd be like Chris Pratt in that movie with Jennifer Lawrence, but like less
Wow.
rapey.
Jennifer Lawrence. What movie are you talking about?
Yeah, I know the
They
one
were just
you're
in a
talking
movie
about.
where they
I don't know.
Yeah.
like interstellar travel,
And like
Okay.
he woke up early and
and they just had the run of the muck
Yeah.
of the place, like Home Alone.
got bored, woke her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
whatever the fuck that movie's called. It was good. It was a good
I
movie.
liked it. I would go. I 100% would. If like, but like with that said, like there was a whole sign up process. I didn't do it. I was more hoping for like the deep impact kind of thing where it's just like just draw my
Right.
social security number and I will fucking go.
Right.
Just like so yeah.
Yeah, lottery style.
Take out all my money and just fucking go broke on that ship. I don't even care if I
No,
make
I wouldn't.
it.
I wouldn't. I'd rather go like into the sea for the rest of my life
Oh,
and explore that.
yeah.
I find it
Shoes
interesting
I don't know
that
why.
there's not
Shoes
a
off.
lot of like into the sea expeditions anymore. Like
Yeah.
Jacques Cousteau was the last one that gave a shit.
Yeah. We actually know more.
Wasn't
James
there,
Cameron
wasn't there a
kinda
modern?
tries?
Yeah, James Cameron, modern day fella. Yeah,
Yeah.
We know more about outer space than we do the bottom of our own ocean.
that's wild.
Not even like
The
mid of
Mariana
ocean. No one
Trench
goes
or whatever the
down
fuck it
at
is,
all.
yeah.
Yeah,
So scary.
the Mariana Trench is that what you just said?
Yeah, something like that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The Pacific
I'm
Rim.
not a fan of water and oceans. Like I try, like I like hanging out on beaches, but like swimming in the ocean just scares the shit out of me for some
It's
reason.
freaky, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gone. In
Yeah.
that-
If
in
you
that
don't grow up
instant.
with that,
No, I was like, I think it was last month. I don't know. My year blurs together. I was like swimming in Sicily with this guy. Yeah, it was last month. And the guy was like, "Hey, I brought an extra like snorkel. If you want to snorkel," and I was like, "Yeah, I've never done that before, but I'll give it a whirl."
Yeah.
Fuck snorkeling.
Yeah.
Like wearing these like crystal clear goggles that I can see everything, and I can just like hold like you just have the snorkel on, so you can just like stay with your head underwater for like minutes at a time. Everything is terrifying.
I never really got how those
I
things
saw an
work,
eel. Like
you know?
fuck that.
I
As
could
soon as I
never
saw an eel, it's
snorkel.
like back to shore.
I could never
Fuck
snorkel.
that.
Every time I like got underwater and tried
Ooh,
to
it
breathe,
touched
it
me.
was just like, and I just
Yeah.
fucking like
Totally.
hyperventilate and like I don't understand blowing like.
It's so terrifying. And that's what I said. Like I came up, I'm like, you know, like the only thing I can hear is like the sound of my own heartbeat. Like fuck this. Like that's all you hear is like dun,
man.
dun,
No,
dun, dun,
couldn't
dun.
do it.
That's a perfect description of how
Horrible.
everyone
Horrible
feels
snorkels, yeah.
the first time.
And like as soon as the salt gets in your mouth and your eyes, I'm done. Like no,
Well, I don't have my mouth open when I'm snorkeling.
no, but I mean just in the ocean in
Yeah.
general.
I don't mind
Well, the
like
cool thing
chilling
about
in
the
the
ocean
ocean
is that
like
you
waist
float.
deep, but like fucking dipping my head under and looking for things.
And hoping you don't
And
get
it's like
sucked
best
No.
in.
case scenario, you
No,
see
no.
something and
Yeah.
it's a goddamn
No.
eel with a face like a chainsaw. Like out of here, peace.
Next episode,
to
we're just
shore.
gonna talk about tsunamis and how scary that shit is.
Yeah, flying sharks, the potential for flying sharks.
I said tsunamis, not tornadoes.
Oh,
Sharknadoes.
am I thinking monsoon?
Right. What about your question?
Okay, so
Mike?
I got a less serious question here. Do you think NASA should focus more on some sort of airlock mechanism for the butthole region of the spacesuit so that astronauts can comfortably fart
Poop.
and safely fart?
Not even
Man,
fart,
man.
like shit. Like they're just sitting. Like how long
Yeah,
do you think
cast
Neil
it
and
out.
Buzz had to sit in their own shit and piss for that whole fucking like? As soon as they left Chris Miller, whatever his name was, they probably looked at each other just like, "Hey, 7 days."
I got
Yeah, let her go.
Sitting in her own sick.
I'm sure by the time you put that suit on, you'd have to piss.
Oh,
like what do you do?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Your
I'm the
nerves
type
would
of
get to
person
you.
I would just piss, but
Yeah.
like you're gonna
As soon
be
as
like
we start this,
floating in it.
as soon as we start this podcast, I have to piss.
Yeah,
I have to piss
you
for
know,
sure. It's just
every
He's
nerves.
holding it.
When I
it's
play
nerves.
like softball, I put my softball pants on and then I'm just pissing the whole time, and then I drive to the place and I
Yeah.
just piss some more, and it's. Could you imagine now, like life or death? Like if you take this suit off, you're gonna die. So you just gotta piss
Yeah.
on yourself, shit on
So
yourself,
you let it go.
Mm.
Yeah.
and then sit in it.
So do you think NASA should invest more of their budget
never-
and research and development
Definitely.
into that?
I don't know. I
airlock
think I'd
system?
rather sit in my own
Butthole
like a
airlock?
mess
Flirting
of my
with
own
disaster.
making than to like hit that
So
button
it's too risky.
and then
Do
like
you
the
think there's-
airlock not work and I get sucked out through the
Ooh.
butthole.
Yeah, it just pulls you
Through your
butthole
butt.
first.
Yeah, like you get
All your
turned
innards.
inside out through the butthole. You
So you're
sh-
saying
What
it's too
about,
risky.
like, if
shit
there
your
was,
own self out? Like, is that what
an
you-
airlock between the neck and the chest,
would.
so that you could
Oh,
fart
okay.
in the suit and not have to suffer the rest of your spacewalk.
Oh God, yeah.
Ooh.
I assume
do they
that
do that?
They
They
have
must.
to.
Like you can't just
No,
like
I
fart in
wonder.
that suit all day and then just have to live in your stink.
and
Let it fester.
and fart
Just
is the
Dutch
best
oven
case scenario.
yourself.
You're just constantly tumbling, so the gas will rise to your feet, so you can get back up and do your work without fucking having to suck it on
Yeah.
fart.
There must be some kind of filter that like cycles out the air, but like even still.
No, there can't. I
Damn.
don't know.
There's
There
gonna
has-
be some
yeah, you're
stink.
hooked up to like a hose. It probably sucks your farts out.
Well, I mean, if you shit, there's no getting rid of that.
No.
Well, no one's just
Period.
shitting in the
If
suit.
you're spacewalking,
We don't know.
honestly, if you're out on the fucking moon for the first time ever and you're like, hey, I gotta drop a deuce, I better go back to the lamb, or do you just fucking drop
Yeah,
it in the
or
sea
you
of
see your buddy-
tranquility and fucking carry on your day?
You see your buddy move out of the corner of your eye, it scares you.
Yeah.
you you drop a little turd.
Buzz is over there squatting, not saying anything. Like he's doing the same.
Just
But you're
mumbling
saying
to
they
himself.
shouldn't invest money into that technology. What should they invest money into then? NASA.
I don't think they have
Better
any
cameras?
Teleportation.
cameras?
money.
I don't
NASA's
know.
not a thing anymore.
NASA's a thing. NASA just gets fucked because like the president basically runs NASA, so it's like depending on like Obama was like we're going to Mars, and then as soon as Trump got in, he was like fuck Obama because my dick's bigger. We're going back to the moon, so they have to like they've been planning for the last 8 years to go to Mars in like 2020, and now it's like shift gears. We're going to the moon.
It should be easier now.
Should be easier, but the problem is that like Mars, there's easy and hard ways to get to Mars, and the next easy one will be like 2030. So it's like if you don't go in the next 4 years, you're not going again for 12. So fuck the moon.
What is this bullshit that they say that we don't have the technology to go to the moon. We destroyed that technology. What the fuck is with that?
I don't know. I've never heard that I've never heard that talk at all.
That's like
nobody knows.
NASA says that they don't have the technology to leave the lower Earth orbit currently because they destroyed
1960s
technology that
fucking
they had.
NASA just wrote everything in invisible ink.
I think it's possible, like thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna put my like fucking
expert
sheep
reputation
hat on and pretend that like they went to the moon.
Okay.
It is possible in the 1960s that they were just so ignorant to the dangers that they're just like, just fucking put them on there and send it.
Yeah.
Versus in 2018, there's like a billion red flags of like, well, how do we do this? How do we do that? How do we do this?
More human
that
rights
now it
stuff.
seems like, no, it's impossible. You can't do it. Yeah, there's like a bunch of like reasons why, like, oh no, we don't have the technology to get past this problem. Versus before, maybe it was just dumb luck. Like, there was a bunch of problems.
I mean, I think the idea, the idea of going to the moon and Mars are kind of the same, but they're different because Mars has an atmosphere. So you would have to re-enter Mars the same way you enter the Earth.
Would Earth.
Where the moon isn't like that and the space station is not like that, So I think that's more it, where it's just like, hey, everything, our sites right now for the last 8 years have been on Mars, and now you want us to go to the moon? Like, we have to, we're not going to need this technology to get us into an atmosphere anymore, but we're going to need this, we're going to need this lander, we're going to need that. I don't know. And again, too, like, I was talking earlier about how, like, they want to go to the poles of the moon, which maybe it's different the way, like, I'm sure the moon spins. No, it doesn't. It's stagnant.
No, it doesn't. So, the dark side's always the dark side.
It's always cold. So, and I think the Japanese want to go to the dark side of the moon. That's their big thing. Because they know the Americans already went to the light side.
Yeah, they're going to introduce moon porn 2019.
Anime
Japanese moon porn. Yeah.
Everything's blurred out except the genital.
all the good bits.
Except the genitals.
Yeah.
Because it's the moon.
Yeah. Is it an alien? Is it a Japanese? Who knows?
All right, boys. I think we covered the fucking space race and the moon landing.
I think so. I think we got it.
We got some expert questions in at the end. Allegedly, next week we're talking about tsunamis. I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? It might,
things may change.
Might get washed away with the
I was
tide.
thinking we should tackle the 9/11 conspiracy.
Another conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it's going to be
close to the anniversary,
date.
Yeah, I think we got to wait for the anniversary. I think next week we just keep it light. We'll do like airplanes.
Okay, we'll do something light. Something light next week. Get to some.
We'll
Tower
talk
7.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I'll talk to you guys next time. For everyone else, follow us on iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Stitcher, the rest.
Follow me in my Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger.
Preferably at night.
Yeah.
Follow everything
real
except
close.
NASA. All right. Talk to you guys all. See y'all next week.
Frontline Fiesta.
You bet.
Always,
Frontline Fiesta.
Always great time.
Yeah, don't forget about them.
Great band.
Can't forget.
Yeah,
even
buy
though
the
I
record.
always forget.
Buy the record. See
Buy the
them
record.
live
It's
when they come
kick-ass.
around.
Yeah, Frontline Fiesta. All right, all. See you next time.
Good night. God bless.
Yep. Mwah.
Mwah.
shadows, you're just too afraid to go in. My mind got in that motion, I'm doing my no